Hello everyone, welcome to Just Invest Today, and today we have to talk about it right now. The Chinese stock market is crashing. All the stocks in the Chinese sector is crashing. Alibaba, PDD, Tencent, everything, guys. So let's get into why these stocks are crashing and what's happening in the market right now. We're going to actually talk about this video right now. Jim Cramer came out and said that Chinese stocks are uninvestable right now. There's too much risk. Do not invest in Chinese stocks. If you have them, sell out of them right now, or there's going to be severe consequences to it. So we're going to get into it. So there's a lot of stuff talking about Chinese stocks right now, and we're going to get into why this crash I think is happening right now. So the first article talks about China takes aim at educational costs and it seeks to reverse birth rate decline. So this article is basically talking about how all these private educational companies might start being regulated by the government, the CCP, because the costs are coming too high. There's too much competition, and since they're going to be allowing kids, families, to have more kids, they want to keep those costs at reasonable rates. They don't want all those tutoring costs to go up, and then all that competition to go up as people have more kids. So now the government is saying it might just turn it to a non-profit section, not for profit. So, man, all those educational companies in China, boom, 50-60% drops. And that's what the regulation might be. People in China, or there's articles coming out saying that's the regulations that might happen. So who knows what's happening with that, but it might be false, it might be true. Who knows? But that's why I think the stock market is starting to crash, and that's affecting other sectors because people are saying that the CCP is doing that for every other sector. So that's one reason. Another reason, Jim Cramer came out and said Chinese stocks are uninvestable right now. So let's get into this video.
We own these stocks, and they're showing no mercy. It does seem like when you turn a profit company into a non-profit company,
look at that, 58%, 61%, 65%. Look at these educational companies. Look how much they dropped. Whoo! That is crazy, man. If you invested in any of those stocks, I feel bad for you, but don't worry. We still have Baba Hope, we still have JD, we still have Tencent. Let's go.
Who are just stripped of their wealth. It's very malice. It's Stalinist. We tend not to see that. I think these are very serious violations that make us realize that capitalism is not alive in China. And we kidded ourselves that we thought that the party was somehow going to want to join the rest of the world.
See, look what he's saying, though. He's saying capitalism is not alive in China. How does he get to that conclusion? It's weird because all the regulation that's happening in China right now, it's actually, I don't see anything that's threatening companies. Think about it. Alibaba was fined for monopoly practices. Every country does that. Every single country does that. They want to stop monopolies. So it was actually, and Alibaba was actually threatening other companies. If you don't sell on my platform, we are not going to allow you to sell our products or blah blah blah. So they had to sell on Alibaba, and they couldn't sell on other sites. So that's actually a good reason to get fined. So I don't see it as a big threat. And then on top of that, the Ant IPO. Ant was doing ridiculous lending of finances without any cash reserves, and the government saw that as a problem. They didn't want to create a crash. So is that a reason for them to stop the IPO? Maybe, who knows? But if that was actually a reason, I don't see it as a bad thing. What else has there been with the Chinese news? There's been so much DDD. If that was actually a cybersecurity risk, then, and the Chinese government told them do not IPO yet, and they still went through with their IPO, and then they stopped it basically. So that is these are all reasonable reasons in my mind. Or maybe the CCP is lying and they're saying, and they're just attacking these companies that you might just for out of no reason, just because, right? Who knows? But capitalism is still alive in China. Look what these companies are doing. Alibaba is a $555 billion million dollar market cap company. They're almost $1 billion market cap company. Baidu, Tencent, those are very strong companies. So, and they actually want capitalism to keep going because that's how these companies got so big. That's when China's growth has become so strong. So what does he mean by that? Like, the reason why Chinese economy is growing so fast and so quick is because of the capitalistic society inside the CCP's like almost like communist structure. So they're doing kind of both. They're mixing it up. So he's kind of wrong on that.
Well, in being capitalistic, they're not. This is a dictatorship, and we're beginning to wonder. I question every one of those companies that's on that list. Any one of them could be vulnerable.
And they're saying it's a dictatorship, okay? But yes, he has final rule. But all the reasons I just laid out, I think they're not like crazy. They're not just because out of the blue. These are all reasonable reasons to kind of control stuff, right? Because guys, if you really think about it, USA, every place does it when they see too much of one thing, like too much power in one company or two companies. Like Alibaba at the time owned like 80% of the e-commerce market. Like, that is crazy.
It's time. You gotta go. You can't own these stocks. I mean, the party may decide tomorrow that that Alibaba's charging the people too much. So I don't know.
You think they would do that? Alibaba would just be like, shut it, Alibaba down, kill the company, kill Tencent, whatever. Remember, Monish Pabrai said they're not going to kill the golden goose, the things that are making the China actually become such a strong economic power. So are they going to actually kill the golden goose?
Andrew, I think we're discovering that they were communists. But they were communists all along.
Jim Cramer, always with a hot take.
So that's it there. So the risk there is still there, delisting, all of that stuff. But when I come to think about it, like people like Janet Yellen, Biden, guys, the Chinese economy is actually essential to America too. The Chinese buy so much American billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars of American goods. I don't think you understand that. Like, America is complaining that China's not buying enough of the goods that they promised to buy, like 30% off of what they promised to buy of USA goods. And that's what USA want. They want China to keep buying their goods. Who's gonna buy? China buys most of the USA's goods. And so who's gonna, if Biden were to actually shut down the Chinese and the Chinese stop buying USA goods and services and exports and imports, yo, the economy is gonna get hit like crazy. Who do you think is buying all these treasury bonds from the USA and stuff, like as they keep printing money? Who do you think is buying that? China has all these treasury bonds and all these things. Like, what would happen if actually freaking Biden said no to all of that? You don't think the Chinese is actually gonna like clap back and revert back to that? Guys, China and USA both need each other. This is my opinion though. Do you think they would actually risk that huge collapse of both economies fighting back and forth? I don't know. We'll see. Maybe Biden's bold enough to be like, I hate China, bow, and just cut them wholly off. Everything, imports, exports, all that stuff, it gets cut off. Delisting, all that gets cut off. They become separate entities. They have a Cold War, blah blah blah. Maybe Biden's bold enough, but that's going to have a huge economic hit on USA and China. But maybe China wants that to happen anyways because they want more stocks listed in Hong Kong and in Shanghai. Like, they want all their stocks to be just centralized over there. So maybe they're like, oh, I don't care. We want US listing. We don't want to list in the US anymore. We don't care about them because, guys, their markets, their stock exchanges are coming out very, very strong right now. So who knows? So like, look at this. BABA took a hit, 4%. PDD 8%. Like, what is it? JD 5%. So like, guys, look at this. All these stocks are taking huge hits right now. So let's get into this last article right now. It's an opinion about, this is your final warning. Chinese stocks listed in the US are dangerous to hold. They're saying that crash is about to happen. So with China crackdown arriving as US prepares to enforce new rules on Chinese companies listings their shares here, there's great potential for individual investors, even those with passive investment funds, to take the pain. So this is how it could be the final warning. Dark cloud hanging over Chinese stocks listed in the U.S. could lead to a storm that washes away investors' funds, even those who are invested passively through mutual funds. Recent moves from both the Chinese and U.S. governments could have Chinese stocks trading in the U.S. barreling toward delisting in the next 3 years. If this happens, and that remains a big if, experts say typical American investors could be left holding the bag when the music ends. So if the delisting happens 3-4 years from now, you could be holding the bag if Biden actually goes through delisting all these foreign companies from the stock exchange. So guys, are you willing to take that risk? And remember, if they put the rule in, you still have 4 to 5 years to actually divest from your Chinese stocks. So that's actually a good sign. Like, they're not gonna just kill it right away. You're gonna have at least 3 to 4 years to kind of remove your stocks, or hold them, whatever, do whatever you want. Maybe switch them over to the Hong Kong Stock Exchange before America delists them. If they don't follow the rules of needing like different USA regulators to audit their books, because we know that China doesn't want any regulators, US regulators, to audit their books. So USA might enforce the rule that makes it necessary unless they want to get delisted from their stock exchange. So that's a possibility. But guys, when I look at this, like, this is what I'm seeing. Like, taking this all in, I think these are all non-factors 5 years from now. Honestly, like, holding these strong companies like Alibaba, Tencent, JD, like, you know these companies are so super strong. I feel like this is just gonna keep brewing for maybe another year or whatever. Maybe you're gonna have to go another year with holding these stocks if you're holding these stocks. But guys, you gotta remember, if you're a contrarian investor, you're not with the herd. The 95% of the people that are going the opposite direction, they're gonna tell you are wrong. Your stock is bad because they're doing everything. They're doing what everyone else is doing. So, as investors in China and seeing this huge opportunity, you're gonna have to stand there and actually take all the punishment. You're gonna have to taking all the people saying you were wrong, China is bad, blah blah blah, and you're gonna have to suffer while people are making gains and your stocks are just doing bad. You're down 15%, 20%, whatever it is. Maybe you're down only 5%. You're just gonna have to take it, guys, because remember, you're a contrarian investor. We're seeing these as opportunities. They're seeing everyone else is seeing this as a huge risk. So who knows who's gonna be right? You might be right, they might be right, who knows? But you have to sit there and suffer while people are making gains and people are saying you are wrong. China is gonna go through the mud, whatever is happening, because guys, we're contrarian investors. We do the opposite of what everyone else is doing. If you do what everyone else is doing, you're not gonna make those gains that you're not gonna make those huge gains as a contrarian investor. That's how you make your money, when you're doing the opposite of what the herd and everyone else is doing. So if you're able to withstand people saying China is bad, you're wrong, the CCP is going to take it down, whatever, are you willing to take that? Or do you want to go with the herd and accept that China's going to delist all their stocks? Or are you going to go the opposite direction? You're going to have to figure that out yourself. If you're able to withstand all of the abuse, maybe you have to go another year with Baba staying at 200. Who knows? Who knows what happens? You don't know what happens. It might take 3 years for Alibaba to double or triple or whatever, quadruple. So you have to know where your heart is, how you're gonna be, if you're gonna be able to sleep at night, just if it's stressing you out. Me, I'm not stressed out. I see this as a 5-10 year investment. I'm sleeping tight. This is easy because when you think about it, these companies are just way too strong. These companies are strong, are pretty much almost as strong or stronger than any US company, Alibaba and Tencent. So I see these as 5-10 year investments. I don't see this as day-to-day stock movements and up and down. So tell me what you guys think about this whole situation with Chinese stocks crashing, people talking bad about China, saying you cannot invest in these stocks, they're going to do bad. Maybe they are right, maybe they are wrong, who knows, we'll see in time. Tell me what you're doing, guys. Guys, if you like this video, like and subscribe to my channel. I'll get back to you in the next video. Peace!